So empowering girls is critical for both equity and social inclusion. What we know is that historically girls have been invisible around the globe. We know that a half a cent and now 2 cents on every dollar of development aid go to girls. A half a cent is not a whole lot of money. And we also know that girls end up not getting into school, they end up suffering from violence and many human rights violations. We also know that when you empower girls and invest in women, 90% of that investment comes back to the family, to the community, and to the nation state. So it's a sound investment. And sadly, when you invest in men and boys, it's 30 to 40%. So in order to give equal opportunities to girls, there's a lot of different actions that are important. One is that we need the evidence. We need to look at the research and find out where our most marginalized and vulnerable girls live. And then we need to understand what barriers there are to improving their lives. Most of these girls have a lot of potential. I like to say that girls globally have equal talent, they just may not have equal opportunity. Once we figure out what the barriers are, and they're different in different countries, and they're different depending on whether the girls are living in a rural environment or an urban environment, then we need to work with governments and with communities and with the nonprofit organizations that can really make change in these girls' lives. And then we need to make sure that we're working with the girls themselves and with their environments, their families, their communities, their faith groups, to really shift a culture and assure that they're getting the support they need to thrive and to be as ambitious and spirited as we know girls are. So the UN Foundation works on many levels in order to achieve equality for girls and women throughout the world. We work on universal access to reproductive health. We know that there are 215 million women around the globe who want to plan and time and space their families, and yet don't have access to the information or the services to really provide family planning and reproductive health for themselves. We also know that there are about 358,000 women who die in childbirth every year, and many more women who have injuries in childbirth. And yet, if we were to provide family planning and reproductive health, that number would decrease conservatively by 30 or 40%. So we are working with several other foundations and with the nonprofit community here in the United States to strengthen U.S. leadership on reproductive health and family planning. We're working for more money well spent. And we're proud that the Global Health Initiative in the U.S. government is focusing some of its efforts on reproductive health and maternal health. That's one arena where we work. We are also working at the United Nations Foundation on behalf of adolescent girls globally. We do that by supporting programs in country that are holistic, rights-based, and empowerment-focused. We work on programs that reshape a girl's life by providing education, health care, sexual and reproductive health information and care, nutrition, livelihoods, violence prevention, and safe spaces for girls. We're basing this project on a model in Ethiopia, and in that model we've served 20,000 girls who have delayed child marriage, they've delayed pregnancy, they've gotten in school and they're staying in school, and their knowledge of sexual and reproductive health is increasing dramatically. So we're taking that model and we're replicating it in Liberia, Malawi, and Guatemala, and we'll replicate it in 20 countries, working with the UN and with the NGO community in those countries to reshape girls' lives.